channel. I hope you guys are doing really well. If this is the first video you're clicking on, hey, what's up? My name's Ebony, and today's video we're going to be talking about healthy foods and foods that you're eating thinking they're really good for your skin and you're being really healthy, and in reality they could actually be making your acne worse. When I talk to you guys on DMs and talk to you guys about your skin, and you message me maybe saying, look, I'm trying everything, I'm just literally healthy foods are going in my body, I'm doing everything I can for my skin and nothing's working, and a lot of these foods come up and I'm like, I think this is where the problem is. So I wanted to do a video like this, so hopefully it might help a larger proportion of you guys out as well. Now, a little disclaimer on this, all the foods I mention, I'm not saying, if you eat this you're gonna get acne, definitely not. What I'm more saying is that if you're someone who's suffering with acne and you've got very acne prone skin, these are foods that could flare your skin up a little bit if you have too much of them. Everything is about balance and moderation. Now, a popular trend I see all over my Instagram feed are these smoothie bowls and acai bowls, and I must say they take a cracking picture, but with someone who's got acne, this is something that is giving a little bit of alarm bells if you're having this every single morning. Now, my problem with some of these breakfast smoothie bowls, there's a lot more fruit than there is veg. Even most of the time a lot of people just use fruit. Everyone's acne is from a different cause, so like I said at the beginning, this is not going to be the same for everyone, but very commonly acne and sugar and hormones, it's a massive link for majority of people. And the thing is with fruit, there's a lot of sugar in fruit, and essentially when you're having all these breakfast smoothies and you're whizzing up a lot of fruit, and usually you're using more proportions because you're trying to fill yourself up on it, really in the morning you are starting your day with a massive sugar spike, even though it's natural sugar and you're like, yes, I'm getting my fruit in, it's great. Actually, the response your body is having to that sugar can actually cause inflammation on your skin. Alongside the smoothie bowls, we've got the juice goers. When you juice, especially fruit, really you're just extracting all the sugar part of it. That's why fruit juices are so sweet. So you want to be very wary of how much fruit juice you're having, especially if you are someone who eats a lot of fruit. Having that extra juice in the day might just be tipping you off that your sugar load a little bit, and that's what's really could be causing a bit of problems with your skin as well. So yes, although we see juices and all this kind of stuff as a very really healthy thing to do, you want to be very wary with the types of fruits, the types of things you're putting into it. Now, by no means am I sitting here saying that's it, you can't have a smoothie bowl again, or you can't have juice. I'm not saying that at all. All of us respond very differently to sugars, and especially with people with acne, you might find you're a little bit more sensitive than others. So if you see someone on Instagram who has a smoothie bowl every single day and their skin's really clear, their body might respond a bit differently. You need to pay attention to your body, and can your body handle having these types of foods all the time. Okay, so now let's actually talk about fruits and which ones I would be looking out for. These two fruits I'm about to say are big culprits, I find, for breakouts. I've seen it in so many people. Bananas and mangoes. Bananas is it's the go-to thing really in the health. You've got making banana ice creams, banana pancakes. Bananas are in so many different health recipes. Now, the thing is with bananas, they are one of the fruits that are very high in sugar, so you might be one of those people that might see a big difference in your skin if you cut down with your banana intake, because I know they're a very easy fruit to grab and just have as a snack. Same thing goes for mangoes. Mangoes are very high in sugar as well, and again, they're a very popular snack. A lot of people even like them in the freezer when you have frozen mango. Going back to the first point about smoothies, these are two very common ingredients in smoothie bowls. Mangoes and bananas are what really fills out the bowl. I see it all the time having such a big link with breakouts and acne. I just would be very mindful of it. Okay, so now let's talk about dates. Now, you'll see dates in so many treat recipes because it's always labeled no refined sugar, and they're so great to make so many things because they are really good at binding things. They've got that sticky consistency which keeps things together. So if you look up dates and look up the sugar contents in dates, I think you will be shocked. Full of sugar. I mean, you can taste the sugar in them. I remember I used to have almond butter in dates, and I used to say, oh my god, it tastes like fudge. It was amazing. But I was eating dates back when I was really breaking out, and I didn't know back then that I was so sensitive to all this sugar, because again, it's just something very easy to look over, and sometimes it's not necessary to add them into everything. Do you really need to add the dates into your drinks or your breakfast? With the whole health movement, we're very much like led to believe, you know, to go for the healthy sugars like dates and coconut sugars and, you know, anything that's not a refined sugar. At the end of the day, it's still a form of sugar, and our body is still going to respond to that form of sugar. It might respond to it a little bit slower than it would like a refined white sugar, but still, you're still going to get that sugar spike. You know, with someone who's dealing with acne, like sugar can cause a lot of inflammation in our skin. It can boost our testosterone levels, you know, it can play havoc with our hormones, and that's why it's something to be very mindful if your skin is an issue for you. And as well, like I said in my previous video, sugar also feeds yeast, so if yeast is a problem for you, you know, this is another thing you want to be mindful of. But that is a common theme in a lot of these foods in this video. I'm just trying to make you guys aware that these foods, even though they are perceived as healthy, they contain a lot of sugar. It's just, these are things you need to be in the know about. Let's talk about dried fruits, because these are easy ones that sneak into a lot of our foods, whether it's granolas, snack bars. We're talking about raisins, we're talking about like dried out, I don't know, pineapple, dried out figs, whatever, I don't know, whatever dried fruit you have. Actual process of when it's dried, it, again, going back to the sugar, it higher the sugar level. So higher, that's not correct English, it raises the sugar levels. And it's funny because I actually used to eat prunes, and I had really bad skin when I was eating those as well, and now I know that they are one of the highest ones in sugar. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so next I want to talk about milk, and I'm talking about dairy milk. So if you're someone who consumes dairy milk, a very common choice a lot of people make is they try and go for like the skimmed milk or semi-skimmed milk, because we're told, you know, it has less fat in it. But actually guys, the more skimmed milk is, the higher the sugar levels are in it. But then there's also the argument with milk that milk does contain a lot of hormones, which can play a lot of havoc with our skin and our hormone balance. So yeah, I can't really find a good angle for it. I just wanted to share that information from skim to, you know, the whole milk, because yeah, look, I didn't actually know that until I got told it, that skim milk contains more sugar. Let's talk about grains. Now the problem we have with grains is that once we consume them, they actually do give us the same response as sugar would, and a lot of these grains can actually promote a lot of inflammation in the body because of this. Maybe trial out seeing if you are sensitive to grains. You might find that pseudo grains, so things like buckwheat, quinoa, and you know, in that area of things might be a little bit better for you. And we know that like white rice and anything white is much like worse and higher in sugar, so we always go for the brown option. But then again, I'm just putting it out there, actually sometimes grains altogether can be a problem. If you haven't really looked into that in your diet, and you maybe might realize, oh, I'm actually having a type of grain every single meal, maybe just cut it back to maybe having a grain in one of your meals a day or something. Let's talk about some tofu. Now I actually don't eat tofu, I never really have, because I haven't really liked the texture of it. But something that I've learned actually quite recently from doing the research on my last video is apparently tofu contains yeast. I mean, I do think yeast in general is something just to maybe look into if you're someone who suffers with acne and you've had it for a long time. I'll leave my last video linked for you so you can go look at that. But back on the tofu thing, the reason I wanted to put this in is because, you know, a lot of people gravitate towards like more tofu based products, and you know, this might not be helping your skin out, so I wanted to put it in there and tell you guys that, you know, tofu does contain yeast. And also a lot of people's hormones sometimes don't respond well to tofu and, you know, soy based products. Okay, so next up, let's talk about spicy food. Something that I see very, very common when people turn to more of a plant-based eating lifestyle or a healthier lifestyle is that they feel like the flavor sometimes is compromised, and to compromise that, they put in a lot of spice. I've been to a lot of like actual health cafes and I eat their food and I'm like, oh my god, it's like burning my mouth out. Yes, spice and acne are not friends. When I actually studied Ayurveda, in Ayurveda's terms, you know, spice is under the Pitta constitution. I won't go into it too much because it can be a bit confusing, but yeah, if you have acne, then you would more sit in the Pitta constitution, and the foods they tell you just do not touch, one of the main ones is anything spicy and, you know, produces heat in the body. They see it as you've got this inflammation, you don't want to put fire on fire. I notice it straight away. Like it's really weird, if I eat spicy food, I get spots like around my mouth here, so I can always tell when I've overdone it on spice. When I talk to you guys on DM, sometimes this is one that pops up a lot because you guys are like, I just love spicy food, I can't have anything without spice. And I do understand it, but at the same time, you know, this could be something that's really aggravating your skin. Okay, and the last one we're going to talk about today is good old peanut butter. Peanut butter is very, very high in our omega-6. Now when it comes to like healthy fats, which we're looking more at omega-3s. What we want to strive for is a good balance of omega-6 and omega-3. What's very, very common in our Western diet is a lot of people are very, very high in omega-6, and omega-6 promotes inflammation, which is exactly what we don't want, and obviously it can be havoc for acne, all this inflammation on our skin, and along with that they have a lower omega-3. So what you want to do is lower the 6 and up the 3, but also I do want to stress it's important to still have that balance. Like, we all do need a little bit of omega-6. We don't want to have loads of omega-3 and no omega-6. Like, it needs to be a balance. So I really do recommend just switching your peanut butter for another type of nut butter. A lot of people love almond butter. There's loads of different ones you can get out there, or you can even make it yourself. And peanut butter can be a huge culprit for acne. And I think if you are someone who thinks that you're not responding well to nuts, maybe then also look at your overall fat consumption and see where your ratio might be hitting at, because you might find that it's not necessarily the nuts. Maybe you, like with other fats you're having in your diet, already are setting off your omega-6 omega-3 ratio, so when you have nuts it just tips it over the edge as well. Like, it's a combination of everything. So there we go, guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you found it interesting and helpful. If you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below, and also let me know what you want my next video to be, because I love to get some suggestions from you guys. If you did like this video, then it would mean the world to me if you can give it a thumbs up, because it helps me out so much. And if you haven't already and would like to see more videos like this, then make sure you click the subscribe button and come join the family. But anyway, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye.